Hello and welcome to the Friday market update. So, where do we go from here? As you've already likely heard, the Fed reduced the Fed funds rate by 0.5%. And no, mortgage rates did not go down by 0.5%. So, mortgage rates actually ticked up a bit after the meeting. So, why? Let's break this down. So, the Fed funds rate is controlled and set by the government. Mortgage rates are market driven by Wall Street bond traders. So the mortgage market had already anticipated the Fed would make the cut, and mortgages had already seen a significant drop prior to the announcement, dropping from over 7.5% since the end of April to the current rate, which is around 6.2%. So food for thought. Since May 1st, mortgage rates have dropped almost 1.25%. So on a $450,000 FHA mortgage, this translates to a monthly savings of $366. So get the word out and educate your buyers that mortgage rates have dropped and it could be an ideal time to jump into the market. Okay, so what happens now? I believe mortgage rates will continue to go down step by step through 2025 and end up in the low fives. It's not going to be a straight line with some hiccups along the way. It never is all the way down. So the Fed has a dual mandate. Control inflation, number one, and two, have maximum employment, which is jobs. So the Fed right now is confident that inflation will come down over time close to their 2% target. The key right now is jobs. So in the Fed statement after the meeting, the Fed said employment has slowed. So this is in contrast to the previous statement from the previous meeting where they said employment has moderated. So those little words can actually shift the market. So the Fed does believe jobs is okay, but it may not be as strong as it was before. So the Fed forecasts another 0.25% reduction in the Fed funds rate on both the November 7th and the December 18th mortgage meetings, with an additional 1% reduction in 2025. So that's 200 or 2% over the next probably 14 months. So Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said the Fed doesn't see a recession and believes spending and growth have remained resilient. That may be the case, but spending and growth, in my opinion, is on credit cards. Credit card debt is the highest it's ever been. So when will the music stop for the consumers? And when it does, the economy slows down. So it won't be pretty when it does. Now, Jerome Powell went on to say, quote, "But I think as we normalize rates, you'll see the housing market normalize. And I mean, ultimately, by getting inflation broadly down and getting those rates normalized and getting the housing cycle normalized, that's the best thing we can do for householders." So what in the world is normalized? So he is essentially saying he sees mortgage rates will continue to drop. This is my interpretation. When they do drop to a reasonable and normalized level, existing homeowners stuck in their current home with a low interest rate may finally feel comfortable selling their home, taking the equity, going into another home, and moving on to moving into a situation that matches their life changes, a bigger house or a smaller house. So this means that more inventory hopefully will come to the marketplace, making appreciation more reasonable than the frenzy we had during COVID. So that's the ideal situation. Ideal doesn't always happen. So in my opinion, if rates drop more, it simply makes it more affordable for more home buyers. Demand will increase and house prices will go up. So buying now is a better option, in my opinion, than waiting for mortgage rates to drop further. So let's face it, the likelihood of home prices going down is extremely remote. Home prices this year have gone up in 2024 despite the high interest rates and one of the lowest number of transactions in history this year. So demographic data shows there's more home buyers coming in, the millennials, the Gen Xers, the Gen Zs, they're coming into buying this, and people waiting for home prices to drop could be waiting, in my opinion, decades before it happens. So as always, feel free to reach out to me directly to get your buyers pre-approved and educated so they can make the right decision for them. You can also send them to my calendar link where I will go through a free CIA, credit income asset analysis, so they know exactly where they stand now and what they need to do to get into a home. So let's run their numbers. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week. Gaylord out.